What is going on, everybody? We are back with another episode of the High School Garage's Shop Talk. Yes, we are a day late. It was a busy weekend. Did a lot of family stuff this weekend. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. And yes, I notice I am saying weekend a lot. Anyways, we are back. It is going to be Tuesday when this episode drops. Shout out. Well, not shout out, but sorry, Pedro, messing up your at-home radio schedule. You're gonna have to play your corridos another day. But let's jump into it, guys. Again, another solo podcast. Nothing wrong with that, right? This past week, man, it was a tiring one, right? I was tired all week. I mean, it's Monday today. I'm tired today. Had a bit of a headache. Powered through it, just like we do all the time. And we got through the week. No real big mistakes. Nothing crazy happened at work. But yeah, it was just a tiring one, right? And I understand everybody goes through it. We all go through it. Especially as mechanics, we wake up in the morning, especially if we had something that wasn't completed the day before, and it's waiting there in the shop for you. Oh man, you were just straight up like beating your head with a hammer, figuring out why isn't this working or why isn't this done yet. I got to do this, which is what's going on in the shop right now with one of these trucks. We had a truck come in and it pretty much burned down this whole the tractor. It burned down. All the airlines are just gone. It looks like it looks like some melted Jolly Ranchers. Honestly, that's what it looks like. They're just all mashed together because this truck caught on fire. What did we come to the conclusion? That too. All right. Our boss, they called him and they were like, hey, our truck caught on fire. The insurance company, if it's not more than, I don't know, it was something with the insurance company. They didn't want to take it to them. Point is, he was like, can you guys do it? And our boss was like, damn straight we can do it. We're the best there is. Dude, we are not a freaking collision company. And again, I didn't even work on the truck, so I was annoyed for the homies working on it. And yeah, point is, it was a bitter deal because he was like, hey, if you guys can fix it for this amount, I'll send it. We're going to you. And our boss was like, yeah, we could do it for that amount. Oh my God. They pulled it up, dude, it melted the tires. It melted the tires. There was no tires. It was crazy. It was crazy. And this was a tanker too. It does propane, I think. It hauls propane. So the fact that it didn't completely explode was mind-boggling to us. We didn't know. Anyways, we've had the truck in the shop for I think like 2-3 weeks. And they've just been tearing it down. They finally got the mechanical parts, which was the brakes all around the drums, shocks, shock mounts, because it burnt. It melted the shock mounts. It melted a bunch, but it got so hot that it melted the shock mounts, right? That all 8 tires in the rear, we had to go to our boss knows, or the hookup or whatever, one of the guys, some other dude, he owns a junkyard. We had to go to, or Roger, I should say, not we. Roger had to go into that junkyard, pull out all the brake lines, the ABS module line, like everything. We tore that other truck, all the damn hoses and everything. He tore that up and put it into the truck that we're working on. We finally got it like good today. There's a lot of smoke, but you know what? That's not what it came in for. They got it done. The brakes, I think they're close to getting it done. I think we got to wash it. But anyways, that thing has been plaguing the shop for so long. Just every day. I know the homies that were working on it are just like going to sleep like, I hate this truck. Waking up like, I hate this truck. Because that's what they were seeing for, 2 weeks. Just tear it down, tear it down. What do we need? What parts do we need? And that's what all last week felt like for me, if I'm being honest. We all go through it. Like I said, we all have that one job where it's just, God, it's here again or it's back. You gotta work through it. I'm here to tell you guys, not alone. Every shop goes through it. You're going to go through it once, 2-3 times a week. Honestly, when I was at Firestone, it would happen a lot. If something wasn't completely perfect, the customer was always going to come back. Always. And you could tell them, and it happens where we're at right now too. I do alignments, and when you can tell them that a customer actually came back last week and was like, hey, you guys told me that my tires are bad. He came up, he was going through all this, and I'm like, okay, well, let me see your paperwork. We look at his paperwork and look, we're telling you one of your tires is bad. It's wearing out really bad. And he's like, I know that, but if I get a new, like, he was making this whole thing, and long story short, all he wanted to know was if he gets a new tire, is his alignment going to be okay? Which, yes, it's going to be okay. We did the alignment. The alignments, when you get alignments based off your axles, not off your tires. All right. Meaning it's not going to change if you put new tires. If you shift something in the axle, it's going to change, obviously, right? Well, not too obvious, but yeah. And that's the thing. It was just, ugh. I know I said in the beginning that it was pretty easy, but no, dude, I was talking to him for like 5 minutes outside, and he kept saying like, well, I bought a new tire and then you guys told me to swap it and this and that, and giving me the whole breakdown. And I'm looking at his paperwork. I'm like, I know, it's all here. And he's like, yeah, but I want to know if I go buy a new tire, because there's no problem. I'll go buy a new tire right now. And I was like, all right, then, well, go do it. That's what we recommended. That's what we told you the last time you were here. And he's all, well, it's because my tire's wearing out really bad now. It's like, dude, when you came in, it was already worn out bad. That's why we wrote it down. And people, I don't even want to say they try to get slick with us, because they're not slick, but they're like, well, no, it's new tires. It's like, dude, we got dot numbers. We write down, in this instance, it's kind of like it's not a serial number. It's just, it's identification number. And we write them down. And this time I'm telling him, like, look, these are the same tires. And he was like, oh, but it's only been a week and they're already wearing out. Like, dude, it has not been a week. Last week when you came in, we told you that your tires were bad. We told you get some new tires, and you didn't listen to us. And now you're coming back, and anyways, there's always going to be those customers. There's always going to be those vehicles that come back in, and sometimes you can fix it. Sometimes you're going to have to fix it 2, 3, 4 times. And sometimes you're just going to have to, cut your losses and say, hey, you know what? There's nothing more we can do. That's it. Take it somewhere else. We've done what we can. You're not satisfied with it. What are we going to do? But that's what that week felt like, right? It was, I don't know. For me, it was like waking up. It's always not a bummer, but it's like kind of a struggle, because I do work pretty far. I live in Los Angeles and I work in Fontana. And it's 40 miles, 80 miles round trip. So I wake up and I'm always like, God, do I need this? And then I see my car payment. I see that I need internet for this podcast. That phone bill. Ugh. I keep telling my coworkers I want to get a supercharger kit for the 8.6. They keep telling me, hey, when you gonna wide body it? I'm like, damn. I guess I do got to go to work. And I know that's how a lot of us feel, right? That's how a lot of us feel, quite frankly. Whether you work 15, 10, you live across the street from your job, that's a lot of us feel like that. Like, man, do we really need to go in today? Do we really need to work today? Do I really got to pay these bills? Like, I could live without gas, right? I could just take 5-minute cold showers. It's all good. But one thing that I found, and this is, it is a shop thing, but I'm sure it pertains to office jobs or any other job as well, right? There's always your coworkers, like your work friends, you can say. And particularly in a shop, I guess that's kind of what drew me into it, because in high school and throughout middle school and a little bit like starting from like 3rd or 4th grade, me and my brother started playing football. And there's something about that camaraderie, right? It's a team, getting together, putting in the work day in and day out, Monday through Friday, and to achieve a goal. And in this case, in a shop, you get that same camaraderie, right? We go through the same things. A lot of us have the same fuck ups. We mess up a bunch of the same stuff. And yeah, we get down on ourselves and we're like, man, do I really need this job? Like, I hate it here. But then you start joking, right? Your coworker comes over and we've gotten to the point where in the shop where I guess I don't want to say like the closest, but we're close enough to where we can go up to each other and like, damn, you really fucked that up, huh? And we joke about it. And that's what kind of, I guess, besides, needing the job and needing the money and having responsibility and things like that's what keeps me there, if that makes sense. And I don't want to sound cheesy or corny or anything like that. I mean, the schedule helps too. Fridays and Saturday, we got weekends off. But going over there, I wake up in the morning, like I said, and it's like, man, do I really need this? Like, oh, rent's due. I got to pay this. I got that car payment, groceries, this, that, and the other. All the normal life things are just weighing down on you, right? And then you step foot in the shop and you're here. You see your first coworker. What's up, man? Oh, what's up? You're lacing up your boots and you're just like, another day, right? Yeah, another day. And it's good. I don't want to say good to know that people are going through the same thing that I'm going through, because we all go through different things. And, maybe my buddy's going through something even worse than I am. And point is, when we're there and we're talking and we're like, yeah, we got to be here. Let's make the best of it. We all have that understanding of let's make the best of it, right? You don't want to go into work. You don't want to go into a shop where it's just like, ugh, this guy. And I mean, maybe we do have some people like that in that shop. But for the most part, we're all joking. All jokes aside, like if I'm having a bad day, if something's going on in my personal life, going into the shop and just focusing on my work or dicking around with my coworkers, it does something, right? And it's the same relief or euphoria I got when me and my brother were playing football. And I guess that's, again, why I came into this line of work, because it's that locker room setting, right? And at one point we did have a girl in the shop, and when I worked in Firestone, we did have a girl in the shop. She was actually the service manager. But, quote unquote, the guys in the locker room, we all have pretty much the same goal. Let's get this day over with. Right? We're going to help each other out. We might be going through some things, but you know what? It's going to be fun today. We're going to mess up. We're going to break some shit. We're going to do some cool shit. At the end of the day, we're going to tell a story. We're going to laugh about it. And that's what I like about being in a shop. That's how I was at Firestone too. Maybe a little less because the age differences, it was more. And it was a smaller shop. Over here where I'm at currently, it's a bigger shop. We got more guys and they're all closer to my age. And so we're just joking around, man. And it's cool if you're able to get into a shop and you're able to build relationships like this with any of your coworkers, or honestly anywhere in any job. You get what I'm talking about, right? Like, we're over here talking about what we're going to do this weekend, what we did this past weekend. Oh, dude, did you see, homeboy, he was bringing up the truck and then, oh, yeah, that was funny. Like, oh, dude, I was doing this thing and I broke something. And, can you help me out? Right? It's all that. And it goes away. Your problems kind of go away. Because we all have one goal. To get through the day, to get the trucks out of there, to work as hard as we can, or to help each other chill. And that's what it is. People, you'll see on Instagram, you'll see everywhere where, like mechanic memes. Oh, service writer said this, or when your mechanic doesn't, da da da. But when you actually go into the shops and you see what's going on, you can feel it, right? You can feel it. You usually hear the music blasting, and that too. It's we're all in this together. Let's play some good music, right? You hear the music blasting. Sometimes there's that one dude that's dancing, singing. Thinks he's on freaking Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento, and he's just singing his lungs out, right? And it sounds like a party, and at times it is a party. We're just messing around, trying not to get in trouble with the boss. You know, customers come in, hey, you can't be in here. Your homie pulls up, yeah, man, can't be in here. Got backup. But that's what I liked about it. That's what I like about being in a shop. That's what brings everybody into a shop, right? Regardless, even if it's not a shop, it's wrenching, working on a car, working in your garage, right? No one likes doing it alone. I don't like doing it alone. It sucks, man. And I think that's what brings people into the automotive industry. It's getting together with friends, coworkers, people that are like-minded, that have pretty much the same goal, the same passion. They we want to get dirty. We don't mind getting dirty. We're here to work with our hands. We're blue collar workers. We're in there, boy. We're in there. And I guess that's a big part of what drives me, right? What keeps me going back to work. Because if I'm being completely honest, you can ask my coworkers. I have taken days off where I'm like, a little something. But it's just like, I just didn't want to go into work today. And everybody feels that way. But then when I am there, it kind of goes away. All the problems. I don't really think about money. I don't really think about what's coming up, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that. I'm just there hanging out with the boys. We're saying dumb shit, talking about sports, talking about this car. Oh, have you seen the new Integra? Have you seen this? Sending each other dumb videos. Shout out to my boy Theo Vaughn. That's a big topic in the shop right now. We're just sending his clips because his clips are the best. And that's how we get through the day. Because we know not necessarily know one another's like so much. No, like we just know, like, hey, I'm gonna go talk to this guy. Like, oh, what's up? What's going on here? Oh, something pops, and you're just like, oh, of course it was you. It's just joking around, and that's, like I said, what brings everybody together. I think that's what really truly brings everybody into the automotive industry. It starts off in your backyard, right? It starts off in your backyard. You're just kicking it with maybe your family, your friends. You guys are doing a couple things, an oil change here and there, but you're getting help. You're getting dirty together. Again, still cracking jokes, talking shit to one another. Like, oh yeah, you're fucking stupid, man. You don't even know what you're doing. That's why I'm here. That's why you call me, right? Well, I didn't even need you. I just need you to hold that flashlight, and you can't even do that shit right. Same thing when you go into a shop. It just elevates. You start off in your backyard, your garage. You get your homies. You're working on cars, and then you're like, "Hey, man, let's make some more money, or let's turn this into a career." You get into a shop, and it's the same thing. It's a little awkward at first. You don't want to mess up, but then you do mess up. Your boss yells at you and tells you, "Hey, man, you left that bumper loose, and it flew off in New Mexico." And you're there with your coworker, and you're standing there like, damn, dude, yeah, you're getting yelled at, son. Good luck. And your boss is yelling at you like, nah. And then you go, okay, as in like, oh, okay, my bad. Continue, keep going. Yeah, I'm a grown ass man. I can take a yelling. And then he goes, okay, not okay. $2,000 fuck up, not okay. Which is what happened to me. I think like the second month I was there, these Volvo bumpers, you can do better, Volvo. Do better. Also, Robert, you were just standing there, man. Why didn't you say nothing? You just, it's not your fault, Robert. It was hilarious. Because again, I said okay, as in like, oh, okay, my bad, dude. But I just said okay because he continued to yell at me, and he looked at me. Our boss is white. When I tell you he turned red, whoo, boy. And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, not okay. $2,000 fuck up. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Moral of the story, we didn't get our Christmas bonuses. My bad, guys. I'm kidding. But that's what it is, right? Because after it, we're all like, we talk about it, like, what's the worst, like, our what's the worst that you gotten yelled at? Was the worst that this has happened? And when I brought it up, like, my coworker, the homie Robert, was there, and he's just like, oh yeah, this guy's a fucking idiot. He was just there like, okay. And that pissed off our boss even more. But we were able to laugh about it. I'm able to laugh about it. I've had a lot of mess ups, but again, it's the camaraderie. It brings everything back together. If you're cool with your coworkers, they're like, hey man, it's all right. Happens to everybody. Don't let it happen again. Or if you're really, really cool with your coworkers, they'll leave Post-its on your toolbox calling you cross tube mechanic, and they'll poke fun of you to the point where you're like, okay, I don't want to make this mistake again. But we're all laughing about it. That's all it is. And I think that's what some people can't really take, and that's what we don't like in the shop either. Like, yes, you're an idiot. Yes, I was an idiot. I felt like an idiot. I felt lower than dirt that day. I was like, God, a bumper, dude, really? And I'm sure they made fun of me. They still do. But you can't take any of that stuff personally, because let's be honest, you did mess up. It was your fuck up. You are an idiot. Just learn from it. Get better. It's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. You're always going to have mistakes. People are always going to laugh at you. You can't take it personal. Because at one point, they made a mistake, or they made that same mistake, and now they're like, oh, well, I learned from it, so boom, let me help you learn from it by making fun of you. But again, that comes with the camaraderie. That's the locker room talk. I know when people hear locker room talk, they're probably thinking, not to get political or anything, but what a certain presidential politician said, and no, it's nothing like that. It's talking shit to one another and nobody having feelings. No one being well, this would have never happened if you. No, it's just like, dang, you're right. Yeah. Well, you're an idiot though, because remember when you did that? Like, it's just a back and forth. But you only get that when, again, you guys are working on stuff. You guys are tired. You're over it. Everybody's been through the same thing, dealt with the same customers, busted knuckles, scratching your head, about to quit, on the verge of just saying, you know what? This line of work is not for me. Because we all go through that. We all understand it. We all get it. And if you get made fun of, it's what comes with it. That's one of the best parts. You get to tell a story after. You get to remember it. Oh, remember when I didn't line up that bumper? Or remember how mad he was? Those are the funniest stories. Even the ones where people might get hurt. And I'm not saying I want anybody to get hurt. Sometimes you got to. Sometimes something's got to pop in your face. You got to, spray some brake cleaner in the eye in order for you to learn something, to become a better mechanic. But you can't take that stuff personally. You're in a shop. Customers are yelling at you. Boss is like, why isn't this done yet? And you're just trying to get through the day. You're trying to make it better. And that's what it is. That's all it is. It's just getting better, growing together. Again, not to sound cheesy or anything, but it's always good to have that team vibe, right? Come on, guys. And I'm not saying like we're like, guys, come on. Like that video, the little kid in the bus. Guys, coach is right. If we want to win, it's on us. And they're all yelling, shut the fuck up. That's what you would get. It's not like that. It's more just like, all right, cool. Let's get through this. Let's get this truck done. Hey, he messed up. Let me go help him real quick. Or you know what? It's the last two trucks. Let me go help him. All right, let's all leave early. We're all trying to leave at 3:30 today. Let's make it happen. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. That's all it is. That's all it is. And that's what brought me into a shop. Now that I'm looking at it, I think that's what brought me into the shop. On first, obviously it was like, oh man, I would love to work on cars. I would love to, shout out to Fast and Loud, Gas Monkey Garage, Richard Rawlings. More Aaron Kaufman. I looked up to Aaron Kaufman, master mechanic. You do that, and then you get into a shop, and you're like, "Oh, this is cool, man!" Like, we're all chilling. I talked about in a last episode or a couple episodes ago about that Sunday crew, and it was the same thing. It was the same vibe. Like, all right, it's Sunday. It sucks that we have to be here. We should be barbecuing with the familia, Dom Toretto, all that. But no, we're here. All right, let's make the day go as smooth as we can. We'll help each other out. We'll watch the football games. We'll have it on the loudspeaker. That's all it is. But it's fun. It's fun. It is fun. You know, we get home, we're tired, we're taking off our boots, we're in the locker room, we're changing out our uniform, like, man, that sucked. That sucked. This was this. Like, damn it. I gotta work on that truck tomorrow. I gotta do this. But if you have a good team, you got a good relationships, you're really cool, and you don't necessarily get in anybody's way, you're not an asshole, well, the shop's going to be a good shop. Good vibes only, bruh. Good vibes only. And there is going to be times where you're at each other's throats. There's going to be times where you're pissed off. You need to cool down. You need to step away from a job. Step away from a coworker. Or you're going to be like, hey, 30-second body shots. Hit up, back into the locker room. Bodies only, nothing to the face. 30 seconds, throw some punches, walk out. All right, let's finish this truck. Nah, I'm kidding. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm pretty sure it happens. But that's all it is. It's all part of the job. You come back, everybody's cool with each other again, or not, and you just avoid them. Or they get fired, or they quit. But that's all it is, man. That's what I'm trying to say here is even when your personal life, you got stuff going on, trying to make ends meet. I've been there, going through it, deciding, hey, man, deciding whether or not, oh man, do we want to eat today? Or do I want to pay the Snap-on guy? Do I got gas? Or do I need to pay the internet? We all go through it. But for me, going into the shop, hanging out, listening to some music, getting my hands dirty, it's, to a certain degree, it's soothing, right? When you're zoned in on something and all you're focused on is that specific task. Hey, I don't want to fuck up, or let's forget about this. Let's joke around. Let's have a conversation. What'd you do this weekend? You're an idiot, dumbass. This, that. Oh, let's go help out this person. Let's go help out that person. Just having fun. You forget about it. And everybody's just chilling. Like I said, we all got the same goal going on. We just want to get the day over with. Or we want to talk more shit to each other. I don't know. Point is, the shop can be a good one. If you're thinking about going into a shop and you're like, I don't know, well, just work on a car in your backyard, in the garage, call the homies over. Obviously, you won't be able to drink on the job and stuff like that, or smoke that devil's lettuce, hit that ganja. Not that I'm against it, but I mean, you're in work, they drug test you, all that. But wrench with the homies, get dirty with the homies, get dirty with the homies and see what happens. Or don't. If you're a little scared of that, it's all good. Whatever. But work on a car with your friends, see what happens. That's what a shop kind of feels like. Yeah, there's always people here and there dodging work, and they're like, he'll do it. I don't want to do it. They'll do it. I don't want. But overall, you should feel comfortable in the shop. You should be able to, like I said, talk shit. People are gonna talk shit about you. We're going to laugh. We're going to tell stories. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. I promise. And then once you realize like, it's not that fun, everybody else is going to tell you, yeah, man, should have chose a different career. We should have listened a little more in math or something. You feel me? We should have studied a little harder. But yeah, last week was crazy. Not even crazy. It's just one of those weeks, right? Me personally, just like had a lot of stuff going on. But like I said, stepping into that shop, not that your problems go away, because obviously your problems aren't going to go away. You gotta get in there. But for those 8 hours, you kind of don't really think about it. You're over here too worried about, am I going to mess up this truck? How big of a shim do I got to put in? Don't mess up because all your coworkers are looking at you. Or you're just joking. Send this meme. Send this, that. I'm just here to tell you that it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be going through stuff. It's all right to not have your life together. It's all right that you go to the shop to get away. It's all right that you go into your garage to get away for a little bit. You know, you're tinkering because you just want to focus on one thing. You want to ease your mind. Not to get philosophical or give any life advice. I'm just saying, like, I understand. And I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of mechanics, a lot of technicians, a lot of blue collar workers get that. There's something about being able to work with your hands. And honestly, sometimes you got to beat something, right? You got to hammer something out. You got to torch something out. You got to use all your strength to break something loose. Something about that just, everything just disappears. Yeah, you might be mad at that specific moment. Believe me, when there's a bolt that can't come loose, I was doing alignment on the rear. Fuck you, Peterbilt. Fuck those engineers who did the fucking rear. I could not for the life of me get the bolt out. Shout out to Pedro for helping me out. Big brain ideas with that guy sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. But you're just focused on that thing. You're not focused on anything else. You need to get this dang bolt out. Let me torch this son bitch. And you're able to release your anger. You're able to physically get it out, right? And that's what it is. That's what I mean when not that my problems go away, but I'm able to do something constructive. And I hope everybody else is able to do something constructive when they're going through hard times. And again, I'm not here to get any philosophical or to give out any life advice or anything like that. No, I'm just saying, I'm just here to bring light that it's okay to have problems and, go to work and deal with it by going to work, by getting your hands dirty, by busting a couple knuckles, by cussing at your car. I knew I shouldn't have bought you, you son of a bitch. The worst idea ever. Why did I think that the dying Subaru wasn't gonna blow? God. Of course, this Honda Civic that I bought from a 20-year-old is all fucked up and the wiring is all... It's okay. Get your anger out. That's what tools are for. That's what torches are for, I guess. That's what hammers are for. Just bang it out, baby. And you'll be all right. It's all good in the neighborhood. But I just want to let you, put that out there. I know a lot of people go through things, and especially being a blue collar worker, we're like, oh, we got to keep all this stuff to ourselves. We can't. Oh, pent up aggression. Nah, man, those days are over. There's so much science behind it and studies and mental health. Hey, you got to talk about it. Laugh about it with your friends later if that's the best therapy. You can, if it's working on something, if it's keeping busy. I know this is probably the worst advice, but if it is keeping busy and it helps you and it's not affecting you negatively, then by all means go for it. That's how I see it. Again, I'm just a mechanic. I'm just an alignment technician. I'm not a therapist, not licensed. I shouldn't be giving any of you guys advice. I'm just saying, if you're going through something and you work with your hands, I feel it's definitely a way of letting that out, frustration, that anger. Whew. Them demons, son. But yeah, we all go through that. Some days are better than the other, some weeks are better than the other. But at the end of it, sometimes you just gotta suck it up and go through it. Just like that moment, that alignment. It sucked. God. That too. Let's rant a little bit about engineers, right? There's no freaking reason why you should put a solid piece of frame, whether it's a car, truck, SUV, or damn semi-truck. There's no reason for you to put a bolt in front of a solid piece of frame, right? I shouldn't have to disassemble half of the fucking car to get this one bolt out, right? Right? I should be there. When they thought of building this vehicle, they know what they're doing, right? Quote unquote, they know what they're doing, but they're like, hey, like, what do they think? They're like, guys, I feel like they have one mechanic in their war room or their idea room, their drawing board, and he's like in the back raising his hand. How are we gonna service that? As a mechanic, again, I'm on the field. How are we gonna service that if we can't get to the bolt? Like, there's not enough room to even get like a stubby impact, or like, and then it's a big bolt, so it's torqued down to like 100 200 foot-pounds. A wrench isn't gonna break that loose, but then we can't get a ratchet in. Like, how are we gonna do that? And it's like the engineers are just like, hey, shut up. Like, who is in these meetings saying, yes, yeah, dude, yeah, engineer number one, that's a great idea, right? Let's put that bolt there and then put other parts around it so that when the mechanic has to service this, it's gonna be impossible. And if you're a mechanic, you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of anything specifically at the moment, but I can tell you right now, there was a couple cars that it was stupid. There's no reason for that, especially for suspension parts. We'll just slap it in there. That'll be fine. No, it's not going to be fine. Engineers are the worst. They're supposed to be there to help move the automotive industry forward, and they're just dividing it. Mechanics versus engineers. That's the Civil War people will talk about in 100 years. Terrible, I tell you, terrible. You know what really grinds my gears? Engineers. They think they're so smart. Nevertheless, they get paid the big bucks for a reason. They are pretty smart when it comes to some things like aerodynamics and making a car lighter, faster, stronger, all that good stuff. When it comes to something simple, like, dude, oil changes on European cars, they're such a drag. Ooh, Mini Coopers. If you have a Mini Cooper and you've done the oil change, that oil filter, am I right? The oil filter's on top, first of all. And again, this car, it's a Mini Cooper. Mini is in the name. So no, you don't have room to work on stuff. And guess what? They put the oil filter under the dang power steering reservoir, under the dang coolant reservoir. You gotta throw in a long ass extension with the dang with the damn I'm heated. Point is, it's hard to get to. You got throw extensions. You gotta have a swivel, and then it's like a 24 millimeter, and then you gotta yank it out. You gotta move hoses, and it's like, dude, you couldn't just put it on top or put it in the bottom like every other car manufacturer. And then they're manufactured by BMW, the newer ones, right? So guess what? There is no dipstick. So now you're doing this oil change and you're like, all right, well, it says 5 quarts. Let me check. You put like 4.5, and then you got to wait 20 minutes to see the fucking oil level reading because there's no goddamn dipstick, right? Ain't no dipstick in them some bitches. You got to do it through the little menu, the little heads up display. The worst. And I'm sure the engineer that made that is probably praised. Oh my God. Yes, sweetie. You're great. I can't believe it. Why didn't we think of that? You realize we're going to save, you realize we're going to save less than a pound of weight on this vehicle because we don't have, like, you guys are fucking idiots. Oh, we're going to save this much space because we don't have a dipstick. Get out of here with that bull crap. Get out of here with that bull crap. Don't even get me started on European cars, man. Which, by the way, I actually had this discussion with my coworker Robert, and he was asking, like, oh, what do you think of this? And don't get me wrong, I'm not too into European cars. So, the BMWs, and they're cool. They're cool. They are. I like the stance on them. They're very aggressive. The Porsches, they're really nice. They're aggressive too. They got that flat six, and I'm that boxer fanatic. I got me a little Subi going on myself. So they're cool. It's just, like I said, some of the engineering, I've seen some come and they're just leaking constantly. They're just leaking everywhere. A bunch of them, it's annoying to get simple services done. Like, for instance, this Mini Cooper made by BMW, manufactured by BMW. It's just an oil change, right? And then that too, their drain plugs are different. And if you want to do the oil pan gasket, you got to drop like the subframe, you got to drop everything. It's like, man, what happened to just a good old oil pan? We just take nah. So, but not to knock them, not that they don't perform, because they do. They're freaking race cars. It's the German autos, and they know what they're doing, right? They know what they're doing. They're nice, they sound good, they're cool, they're fast, but man, just things can go wrong. And a lot of them that I've seen, they're leaking oil. It costs a lot to fix that. So I just stay away from them. That's just my opinion. Again, if you were to give me one to drive for a month or something like that, just to test it out, burn the wheels off, then for sure, by all means, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump on it. But I don't know. I would have to have a lot of money. So with that being said, head over to theheightsgarage.com. Buy yourself a City of Angels t-shirts. We're still doing that sale. They're $20. You buy a City of Angels t-shirt, you get a free mystery t-shirt in the same size. We do have $10 t-shirts. Our caps are still on sale right now for $15 while supplies last. All that mumbo jumbo. But for sure, head over to theheightsgarage.com. We offer free shipping on orders of $35 or more. If you're local to our area, when you're doing this whole shipping thing, it'll give you that option. And we offer free local shipping. You heard that right. Free local shipping. We're the Jeff Bezos of Boyle Heights, delivering great and awesome automotive related t-shirts. God, talk about a tongue twister. Whew. It's kind of a short one today, right, guys? Right, everybody? It was a short one. I think we're running 43 minutes, about to be 44 minutes. It was a little bit of a rant at the end, but you're a mechanic and you worked on cars and you haven't been able to get a bolt out because it's hitting the fucking subframe or there's something else blocking it and you got to take everything else apart to get to one freaking bolt. You know what I'm talking about. And like I said, get into the shop, get dirty, make some friends, talk some shit, leave your feelings at home. Just have a good time. And just have a good time. If you're doing it professionally, if you're doing it on the weekends, after work, wrenching's fun. Sometimes. But majority of the time, it's fun. And like anything else, It's better with friends. So, go out there, get your hands dirty, break some bolts, bust some knuckles. As always, number one thing, keep it Boyle Heights built, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one.